bitch is shaking the table.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Shaking the Table. This week your girl is in her feelings, and before I get into the actual episode, I just want to get something off my chest. I don't know what's in retrograde or what's up in this Montgomery County water, but child, I have been sad. And overcritical of myself to the point where I don't even know why. I was actually just telling someone that I've been having so many existential crises, how do you say it? Whatever. A lot of problems, okay? These past couple of weeks. And I'm really good at hiding if I have a deep personal issue, because I like to be the person that's like, oh, let's be optimistic. Let's, be positive, spread good vibes. But I just felt like I was hiding something. And I don't know what I'm hiding, but I just have these weird feelings of, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, or I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And I don't know if anyone else is here. But maybe if I get to a point where I can actually vocalize this stuff, then I'll be able to help somebody, reach one, teach one and all that. But I think I guess I should back up. So I think the biggest thing for me is I love podcasting. Podcasting is my form of therapy. You know, the euphoria that you gym rats feel when you come from the gym. You just got a good workout in, you feel good, you feel like you look good, summer body, boom, boom. That's the type of feeling I have when I put out an episode or when I'm working on an episode. When I'm writing and when I'm creating, it makes me feel so good. But I don't know. I've been reflecting on these past 15 episodes. And number one, let me start by saying I'm so grateful to my listeners who tune in every week, the people who promote me before me even having to say it, the people who literally screenshot, my posts on Shaking the Table podcast Instagram of being like, hey, go listen to Lowe's podcast. Even if y'all didn't listen yet, that means so much to me, because you are promoting and you are supporting me every week. And I know we are busy and I know we all have things going on, but just that one share to your followers, even if you only got 20 followers, that means a lot to me. So thank you so much. The people that help me promote, and even people who retweet me on Twitter, Twitter is a huge space for my work to get picked up. And so thank you guys for that. And then also to my guests. I know a lot of people don't like to be vulnerable. A lot of people don't like to speak, on the mic in a public platform like this. And for all of you guys to just say, you know what, Lo, I'm going to rock with you on the mic. Let's talk. I appreciate that. Y'all are important to me. I just want to make that clear. I don't want to make it seem like I'm coming off as being ungrateful, because I'm not. But I have my days where I can't help to think, is my podcast even good enough? Is it worth listening to? And I've had people tell me, you're being super mean to yourself, Lauren. You are being super critical. And, they listen to it and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. In this particular moment, you said you didn't like when you said this, this, and that. But it all tied together when you said this, this, and this. Or it tied together with another episode you did. Or, and it's just hearing that feedback is good. Because, I enjoy people telling me oh, it was really compelling this week. It was really entertaining. Or, oh, I was going through this, this, and that. And your podcast actually motivated me to do this. That feels good. But I don't know. Maybe I'm a numbers person. And that's coming from my journalism background of looking at the numbers. And I feel like I started out with 500 listeners. And now it's we in the 200s. And it just makes me feel what did I do that was wrong? And I don't know if you guys are busy. I don't know if the content it is. But if I'm not getting feedback, if the feedback I'm getting is just from my friends or people who kind of know me well or have been listening for so long, it's sometimes you just want to hear a little bit more critical feedback so you know what to change. And I just don't know. I don't know how many people are enjoying the podcast. And that's a scary feeling, because I don't want to keep creating things that are bad. I always want to improve and be better. And I want, to hopefully be able to turn this into a full-time thing. I want to be able to, me and Champagne Poppy sitting on the couch, got Adonis in the back playing with toys. I want to make this a big thing. And I just don't know if what I'm doing is good. And, it's always good for reassurance, people pulling up on me when I'm out at the bar being like, oh, my God, I love your podcast. Or people that DM me being like, oh, this episode really resonated with me and I appreciate you. But even with all of that, even having those moments, those make me smile and those make me feel good. But I don't know. I'm never satisfied. That's my toxic trait. The tweets that be like, what's your toxic trait? Me, I'm never satisfied. I could have a moon and I'd be like, you know what? What will go nice with this? Jupiter and Saturn and Mars. And I don't know. I guess my main point here is I would really like some feedback on my episodes, like what resonates and what doesn't. And it's hard because most of the time I'm writing solo. I'm the one that has full creative control because I like to be in control. I'm one of those people that needs full creative control. Like I record on my own unless I have a guest. I edit on my own. And I know y'all know because it shows. And I really don't like to bother anybody being like, hey, can you like look over these notes about this episode, about this topic? Is there anything I'm missing? Or, listen to this 40-minute clip of me and my homegirl talking about XYZ, because I don't want to bother anybody, And I do like having control. Like I said, like I enjoy driving the boat, but some days I'm like, damn, could somebody turn on the GPS? Like, could somebody send me a topic or 2 or 7? Can I get some DM inspiration? Can y'all send me some Ask Low questions again? Like, mention me with some thoughts on certain topics. When you on Twitter and you see a tweet that's wild, like quote it and then at Lauren Taylor. We could talk about it. Like, DM me with some people who y'all think I should talk to, and then put in parentheses what topic we should talk about. And if it's you, send me some shit, because some of the suggestions that y'all say, I feel like y'all don't be serious when y'all be saying it. Like, y'all be sending me some Joe Budden ass cold takes on stuff. Y'all be like, oh, talk about insert broad ass topic here, and I'm like, guys, no, like, is there anything that relates to the content that I have been doing that you want me to talk about? Like, say, you're scared, you're going to lose your job and you may have to like go out into the workforce again. Do you want me to find someone that could talk to you about like constantly having to change jobs? If like people were telling me, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Do you know anybody that's a young entrepreneur that like quit their 9 to 5? I found that. You guys wanted to hear from a 30-year-old woman talking about, the mistakes she's made and things she wish she would learn. You guys heard that. Okay. What else do y'all want? What more do you want from me? God! I feel like Tyrese right now. All right, y'all. I'm done with this. Because I feel like I'm ranting. I feel like I'm bitching. And that's ghetto. I'm not with it. Moving right along. Hear ye, hoes. The reason we are gathered here today is because I actually want to check in on my 2019 goals. So, if you rewind to my first episode, Say It With Your Chest, I went over all my 2019 goals and how I plan to execute them. And now that it's June and we're 6 months into the year, I figured now would be a good time to pull those goals back up, just to see where I'm at. Like, I think of this as like a 6-month audit in a way, like a self-assessment. You know how they do like your performance review at work, like 30-day, 90-day, whatever. Think of it like that. And for me, I guess the main questions I want to focus on for this episode is, where am I now on this goal? What do I need to work on moving forward? What have I mastered? And then what am I excelling at thus far? And I think that, even though this relates to me, because I definitely could have done this privately, but for the sake of transparency, which if you listen to the first episode, that was one of my goals. I decided to do it on the mic because I feel like you guys hearing me do a self-assessment like this, maybe you'll start to look back at the goals that you made at the beginning of the year and really just work on being introspective and saying, okay, I really said I was going to be in the gym at least 4 times a week and I haven't been. Or I said, I'm going to drink a gallon of water every day and I haven't been. Or, I said I was going to, work on this huge project at work, or I was going to start my side hustle and I haven't. It's just a way to hold yourself accountable and then be like, okay, bet, this is what I have to work on, So let me just go into the bulleted list that I wrote. I definitely did this out of order. So if you previously listened to the first episode and then you're coming back and listen to this episode, it's all over the place, but it all makes sense. Like, it all ties in. All right, let me just get to it. So the first thing I have here is I said I was going to be more self-aware and less self-absorbed. And when I originally brought this up, I was making a point about me being transactional with other people. And I do think that I have been working on that when it comes to my close friends and my family. I think. I don't know. I did tell my family, my friends, like, hey, if you guys feel like I'm being transactional with you, just call me out. Just call me out. If you feel like I'm only hitting you up when I need something, call me out on it so I can be better, because I'm trying to be better and do better. But what's really tea, though? Once I stop being transactional with certain people, I've noticed that other people in my life are very transactional. People that I'm not that close with. Like, people just be hitting me up on bullshit. And I'm like, you got the wrong number. And I guess my progress with this goal is a little bit better than I thought it would be. So, I would have to rate it like 7.5 out of 10. Cause like I said, I've only tried it with my close friends and my family. I haven't really like examined if I'm being transactional with people outside of that bubble. And I don't want to say I don't care, but like I kind of haven't been caring. So I know I'm trash. I'm toxic. It's chill. But I'm working on it. Because I do still have those self-absorbed tendencies, and I do still like have that ego that I've been boxing with. And sometimes I have to tell myself like, Lo, please chill out. You are doing too much, and you know you're doing too much, and you know that person about to whip your ass. At least you can fight though. But hey, y'all, I'm trying, and that is all that matters. So the next 6 months, I hope to come back and be like, y'all, I've mastered this. And I just hope that I have continued at that point to be an even better and more awesome friend than I'm already am now. And I know that for a fact, and that's on period. The next one, understanding my anxiety triggers and learning how to cope with them. And when I brought this goal, it was more so for me to figure out like what triggers my anxiety and, confront whatever that is at the root. And to be honest, I've really worked on this one because, I still have a bit of a ways to go, full transparency's sake, but I realized that there was a person who was the cause of a lot of my triggers. But now when I see them, I don't feel shit. Like before, whenever we were in the same place, I'd be like, okay, bye, got a blast. But now I'm just like, oh, okay, you're here, I'm here. And then what? Which is good because I feel like from that point, I already prayed about it, I already confronted my feelings about it. And, God gave me the clarity and the guidance in those situations to be like, it ain't even worth it. It's not even worth your time. It's not even worth getting worked up. And I just like feel so good about that. I was telling my best friend Taylor the other day, like, I'm proud of myself because if y'all would have known me years ago, I didn't take nothing. Like somebody could have sneezed and it could have been like 7 feet away from me. But just the fact that you sneezed in the same room as me, I'm gonna whip your ass. But now I'm not like that, And there was a situation that I allowed to break me a couple years ago that I'm just like, I can't even believe it. Like the way I acted was ghetto as hell, and I'm over it. Because if you know me, I do not forgive. When you do something big to hurt me or you cross me, I'm going to hold a grudge. I'm going to cut you off. And I don't care what nobody says. I'm holding that in and I don't care. Cross me once and you're done. And that's something I'm going to have to work on. So maybe we'll get to that in another episode. But until now, God forgives, I don't. And y'all can drag me and y'all could call me a hypocrite. I don't care. I don't care because people be trying it out here and y'all ain't finna try me. And that's on period. But yeah, it just perplexes me that I could be over something that like spiraled me into a depression and made me have really dark, deep thoughts. And, one day I had the courage to talk about like my mental health struggles. But certain stuff like that, I feel like I need to just take it to the grave because y'all need to know everything. My point here is though, I fully washed my hands with a lot of situations that I've been dealing with these past, like maybe 1 or 2 years. And I just feel really good and proud of myself for my growth. So I will say with this goal, I'm definitely like 9 out of 10. The only thing I would take away is that I do have a few other things that I need to either decide if I'm going to fight or flight. Like I need to decide if I'm going to forgive them and move on with it or what. I don't know. I do have some other things to work on, but I will say 9 out of 10 because if y'all know the situations and if you're my friend, I'll text you and tell you what I'm talking about and you'll be like, wow, I'm proud of you. But because some of y'all not my friends, I can't do that. I can't expose myself like that. Anyway, I guess I said all that to say, like, you ever thank God for helping you through something that was so hard for you and you just never thought that you could get through it because you were just fighting with something. The devil was just on your shoulder and you kept knocking that nigga off. He kept coming back. Like, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. Gratefulness is flowing from my heart right now. And so moving forward, I just hope that I'm going to write down more anxiety triggers and be able to work on confronting them. So I need to actually have a moment to myself to sit and think like, okay, who are the individuals or what are the situations that make me feel anxious and how can I heal from that? Because I already healed from those other experiences, but we want to keep that momentum going for the next 6 months. I guess going off of that, because this ties into the next goal, I did mention how important it is to keep control of my mind and not really allow other people to take control of me and my thoughts, especially situations, because I feel like all of you guys can relate to being in a situation where you allowed someone to like manipulate how you felt in that moment, or, maybe you didn't say all the things that you wanted to say. You just left a conversation or left a situation just, feeling down or feeling low about it, because you allowed that person to really take you out of character, this episode is for you. Like, you realize that your mind is such a powerful thing. And once you realize that, you will learn. Don't let anybody take ownership of that. And I finally saw the light. I refuse to let anybody get me out of character anymore. Like, I can't do it. And I saw a post the other day that said we only have 6 months or less than 6 months, however much time we have left in 2019. So don't let anyone waste your time. I felt that, and I want y'all to feel that. I want you guys to understand that if you need to confront some of your demons, now's the time to do it. You don't want to carry anything on any longer, because I feel like when I'm sad about stuff, like that's why I had to address what I addressed earlier, because if I'm sad about something or if I like have an issue with somebody, I immediately have to get it out, because I don't know, it'd be like word vomit. Like I immediately have to say like, this is how I'm feeling. This is, I just got to blurt it out, because holding things in for me, it drives me insane, especially because like I work in a profession where I can't say everything I'm thinking. In my personal life, I'm like, I just got to blurt it out. And I need to work on that too. That's another episode. Damn, everything I say, I'm like, that's another episode. That's another episode. But it's true, because I'm multifaceted, honey. I'm complex. But moving on, like when they said don't let anybody waste your time, I felt that. I was like, period, poo, because first of all, I just want to thank Megan Thee Stallion for her contributions to my confidence and my sense of security that y'all are feeling. Like, me listening to her music, I feel so secure in myself. I just feel like I'm on some real hot girl shit. And it's not just like me out here, wilding in these streets, acting up, treating men like objects. It's not like that for me. When I say hot girl shit, for me, it's more so like I'm really working on myself, and I'm really making sure that I am the best possible person, that I'm the most positive and optimistic person, that I am the most beautiful version of myself. To me, that's real hot girl shit. And y'all can quote me on that. That's real hot girl shit. All right, so the next goal, I said I was going to work on forgiving myself for what I allowed in the past. And that was more so how I allow people to treat me. As I said before, I've really grown, and I've recognized my strength and my worth, and I held myself accountable. And y'all remember, I do those mirror affirmations like, sis, you're being hard on yourself. Do better. And I done mastered this one like around a cooking mama on a Nintendo DS. Like, I killed this goal. It's murder. All right, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just being a clown today because I just had Chevy's margaritas, so I'm a little lit. But anyway, I'm proud of myself, and y'all heard me be critical of myself before in the beginning of this episode. And so when I make a mistake, other people don't even have to hang it over my head. I hang it over my own head, and I need to stop doing that. And so what I realized is, like, when I make a mistake, yeah, I'm going to apologize to the person for making a mistake, but that's where we're going to leave it at. Like, I'm addressing it with the person, I'm addressing it with myself, and we're just going to move on. We're just going to wash our hands of it. Like, I'm not going to keep being that person. And a lot of us with anxiety do this shit, and I don't understand why we do it. Like, whenever stuff happens, we replay it in our head and be like, oh, we should have said this, or maybe we shouldn't have did that. Stop fucking doing that. Stop doing that. Stop overthinking your interactions with other people. And that's easier said than done, but that's why I said it's like an active thing. But I've definitely done a lot better than that. Like, if I said something to offend someone, automatically apologize, let them know that if I said something to offend you, I didn't mean it. It wasn't intentional. And then we moving on. I ain't gonna bring it up again. Hopefully you don't bring it up again. We good. We done. Moving on. I don't hang situations over my head. I don't leave stuff in my heart that's like unfinished business, because I don't have time for that shit. Like, we moving forward, and we elevating. In the next 6 months, I also plan to take more time to be idle and just sit and think. And I didn't realize how important it is to just sit with your thoughts and just be idle. I guess because before I lived with like a loud ass Trini family, and like sometimes I couldn't hear myself talk when I walked in the house. But now that I live alone, I'm more able to be introspective and really like talk to myself. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying? Like, actually like hear my thoughts, and like spend more time like writing in solitude. And that has helped me with my growth so much. So even though I just told y'all I don't forgive, I do forgive myself. And I'm so much nicer to myself and much more positive with myself. And I do feel confident in that. I do feel good about that. So in the next 6 months, maybe I'll work on forgiving others, since I like feel weird that I haven't gotten there. But I don't want to lie to y'all, you know, because it's just so hard. Like, I feel like it comes from unhealed childhood trauma. But I don't know, you know. I'm at a point where I'm just like, I'll work on it, but I'll get to it. I got other goals, sis. I got other goals. Speaking of, the next goal was being vulnerable. And child, let me sit up, because this one is right on time, and I know y'all about to drag me, because I full out, no bullshit, I full out gave up on this goal like 3 weeks after I told y'all about it. Like, first week of March, I was like, nope, fuck it, sorry, next. Like, I tried being vulnerable a couple of times, and it just blew up in my face. So I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. Like, obviously, I'm mature enough to know that not everybody deserves my vulnerability, blah, 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 blah. I heard you. My point is, it ain't working. Me being vulnerable is just not in my nature if I don't really know you like that. So I'm just going to throw that whole goal away. Like, no, for real, guys. I think I'm going to start going to therapy, because I haven't gone to therapy since I was like 11 or 12. And I noticed that I have these like huge Berlin wall-ass emotional walls up. And the minute I meet a new person that I may or may not even have a connection with, even if it's just platonic, I just shut them out. Like, I'm so good at shutting people out, and that is a terrible thing to do. I shut people out, especially if I know that I'm like, I have the potential to be interested in somebody. Instead of me being like, hey, I'm interested in you, I'm just like, shutting you out, bye, block me. And I don't know why. I saw this post, though, that was like, some of the people with abandonment issues prefer to be the ones doing the abandoning because it keeps them in control. And child, I said, ooh, I bookmarked that shit real quick. Like, hold on. Did I just drag myself? Like, why did I think that was okay? Why do I think it matters if I'm the one in control? Like, why do I have to be like, oh, he not gonna ghost me because I'm gonna ghost him first? Like, what's wrong with me? Why is it a race to the finish when it comes to my connections with people? It's like, I feel like I'm gonna get a $10 Starbucks gift card if I ghost a nigga. Like, what? I don't know. I constantly ask myself, like, what are you gonna gain from this? And it kind of saddens me to think that I'm this like hard up, tough shell to crack, because it's like, part of me is wondering why I even, or how I even got to that point, I guess I should say, but also like, why don't I allow myself to feel stuff? Oh, wait, because I tried that shit and it didn't work. So, my wall's going right the fuck back up. And that's on period. And I don't think that's going to change for a very long time, because once I put those walls there, then what? What are you going to do? You're going to need a military tank. And even that's not even going to work to break the walls down. So now what? So I guess the next step for here is, if I'm not going to practice the vulnerability, I need to find a way to work on, you know, the trauma and the emotional walls and the lack of vulnerability, I should say, and the feeling of like, oh, I need to ghost people before they ghost me, yada, yada, yada. So I feel like that's a therapy conversation, because me talking it out with y'all, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. You know, unless like the therapist shares some ground-breaking knowledge, I do feel like at some point it's okay for me to stop trying to like be the captain of the ship and let somebody else who's a licensed professional take a fucking turn. Because I'm gonna need it. But all right, I'm spilling too much tea on myself. I gotta keep going. Y'all know too much. I already know too much. Like, fuck around and Thanos my shit. All right, anyway. My next goal was to write stuff down. And this goal was easier said than done. Because, like, on one hand, I'm proud that I've been keeping notes when I have thoughts, whether it's for an episode or for, like, any of my journalism projects, or if it's, like, a personal goal. I have been writing it down. But one thing I would like to work on, though, is, like, journaling more. Because I miss writing in my journals so much. I recently found, because my parents just moved from the house that we used to live in for like several years. So I found all these journals in the attic of like my middle school and high school, like Sad Girls Club days. You know, when we were like emo as fuck. And I was like, dang, like a lot of the stuff I used to write is sad. But I was glad that I found them, because it was a time where I was comfortable writing everything down. And I don't know what changed of like, instead of me writing stuff down, now I start to talk to actual people. But I think I preferred to write stuff down, because that way I didn't have to worry about, you know, someone using my trauma against me, or, you know, it ever like coming out in conversation accidentally or whatever. So I think that that's something I want to work on, because I was reading back, like, I don't even know who this girl is. Like, maybe I need to share some of these on another episode, because there's so much like pain and angst build up, and like you could feel it. I was a troubled youth, y'all. Like, ooh. So maybe one day I'll do an episode of like, Lo, what would you tell your younger self? And maybe writing down like more notes on my day-to-day mental in a journal. Maybe I'll get one of my friends to do this. Like, don't all volunteer at once, guys, but maybe I'll get one of my friends to do this with me, where we like sit around and kind of talk about our week and just like the highs and lows. It doesn't have to be recorded on the podcast, because everything doesn't need to be for the podcast, but just like having an accountability partner is always good. And lastly, I actually just peeped that this was the first thing I talked about. So, but yeah, I said find a way to capitalize off my talents. And girl, as Beyonce said, I've been on. Like, not only have I finagled my way onto TV in DC, which like never happens for someone at 23. Like, usually people my age start off in like bubblefuck Nebraska. But I finagled my way on the DC, and I was on TV the other day, and I ain't really tell nobody because I wasn't that hype. But honey, I'm gonna be back, and they know I'm gonna be back. And then what? I've been a part of like stories that are really like impactful in the community, and like I've networked with some amazing people. I feel like I'm really proud of like how many page views and clicks I've gotten on my stories, and how many things like I've been a part of. And so in the next 6 months, I want to capitalize more off of that, but also lift as I climb, because I feel like a part of the goal that I should have said in the beginning was, it's not just about my success, but it's also about making sure another Black woman or another a Black man, I lift them up as I'm climbing, because that's so important. And I might not be this like super big name journalist or podcaster yet, but I hope that I could be a mentor to someone, or maybe a catalyst to kickstart somebody else's career. Because we were talking about this in my job earlier, like Gayle King actually used to work as an intern at my job, and a lot of the people who she worked with actually propelled her to now being the face of CBS News. And I thought to myself, I was like, damn, Gayle King and I literally like walk through the same doors. And so that was inspiring for me to be like, I'm 3 conversations away to being Gayle King. I'm 3 conversations away from, being a really important influencer. And so I really just got to keep grinding, keep networking, keep, remaining positive, keep, keeping God in my life, and just keep, growing, I guess. 'Cause I'm so proud of the person that I've grown into these last 6 months. Like, I'm so excited, and I'm hopeful for my future. And to be completely vulnerable right now, I don't recognize the person I was last June. Like, I felt very worthless. I felt very small. The position I was in at work, like, I just felt useless. Like, I was broke as hell. I'm still broke now, but like, I'm less broke. I'm in another tax bracket, thank God. But I just had so many times, especially post-grad, which I can get to if you guys are really interested in that in another episode. But post-grad, that broke me. Like, not having a job for 4 or 5 months, there were days where I was just like, I don't even belong on this earth. Like, I don't know. One day, like I said, I'll have the courage to share these stories. But I don't want to make you guys sad, I want to tell my story to, like, inspire people to be the best version of yourself, and to like keep pushing and keep going. So I gotta find a way to do that in a way that's like, oh, look at me, I'm Shad, but more so of like, this is all I've overcome, and if I can do it, you can do it too, So I know it's been a really like weird episode. I'm like low-key bearing my soul to y'all, but this feels really good. I feel really good about this. And I hope you guys are really working on your goals. If you're not, talk to me. I can help you guys. If there's a goal that you're particularly stuck on, you don't know what to do next, just in life, if you feel stuck, like, hit me up. And also shout out to the people who've been coming to me lately for advice that like I normally would not have known if it wasn't for my podcasting platform. I like that. I appreciate that. Like, you feeling like I'm the person that can, give you guidance and clarity on the issue. Like, I don't know who lied to you and told you that I can do that, but I think that that's kind of cool. So thank you. And I hope you guys are doing better. And anyway, thanks for listening. I hope y'all go out and make the second half of your year count, because they had us in the first half, but they ain't finna have us in the second one. And that's on period. So please don't forget to share my episode. Tweet at me at Lauren Taylor. What are you? And tag me on Insta at Shaking the Table Podcast. I love you guys. Bye. Bye.